So, Cindy, I want you to meet Paula and Stanley. And this is their daughter, Paula Jr., who lives nearby. She's actually the one who called us in because she's worried sick about her parents. These guys are desperate for a solution so they can get their lives back. So unless Cindy has some questions for you, she'll tell us about her walk.
So the first thing I want to talk about is a dead guy who's very present in your home. He spends a lot of time in the living room and in the kitchen. He's a really big guy. He wears big, heavy boots, so you should hear footsteps. And he gets really close to people and tries to intimidate them. And I also saw him shoving someone in the kitchen area.
So a lot of the stuff she just said, we didn't talk about, but I saw you guys nodding your heads.
Yes, sir. Earlier today, she was in the shower, and I was sitting on the couch, and I heard her hollering for me to come back there. She just got shoved in the shower.
I just about completely fell out of the tub. I had to grab a hold of the wall.
All right, you're okay, though?
It hurt my leg.
I'm sorry to hear that. All right, any idea who this guy might have been when he was alive?
I got the name Ron or Don. I saw his death. I saw that he couldn't breathe. He grabbed his chest and then he fell over. So I really think that he died from a heart attack. And he's super fixated on money. So there's something to do with the family will. He wants to move on, but he's not gonna do it until he gets what he thinks he's owed.
Definitely makes me think of someone that I came across during my research. There was a former owner named Dan Gibson. He was born in 1911 to a large family. His family, the Gibsons, were in a violent feud here in Indiana with another family called the Spurlocks. His dad and at least one of his brothers died in the feud from gunshots. Now, Gibson bought your land in 1967. 3 years later, he dropped dead of a...
Oh, a heart attack?
Of a heart attack.
Wow.
Now, you said the guy's pissed off about the money and the family will, right? Okay. So after he died, his kids ended up in a long court battle with another family fighting over the property. And here's the kick in the ass. The other family they were fighting with over the land was related to the Spurlocks. Could Dan be the guy you might have seen?
I mean, yeah, the fact that I felt the heart attack in the house, he's pissed about money, it all makes sense.
What's the matter, honey?
I've also had a really vivid dream of my oldest brother shooting me over a house.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like your dream could be related to what this man's family experienced. I think that you're really sensitive, and I think that that dream was maybe Dan communicating with you something about what happened to his family.
I'm glad you're not living there anymore, right?
Yeah.
So what else?
So when I walked into the garage, I saw a living woman. She had blonde hair and she looked to be in her 40s. She was crying and extremely upset. And I felt like she wanted to escape, but she couldn't leave. And I also saw a father and a son, but the son as a teenager and the father and the son were fighting. And I feel like this aggressive behavior, the fighting, it's really causing division in your family and it's tearing the family apart.
You know, Cindy, the main reason Paula Jr. here called us in, these guys have been married for 35 years, but they've been fighting so bad lately, they're talking about breaking up.
A certain thing or a certain word, and I'm snapping. I know I say hurtful, I do harsh stuff, you know, toward her.
She mentioned about fighting with a teenager. Does that ring anything for you?
Me and my son.
Okay.
We've had some harsh words, some harsh arguments.
All of this fighting is fueling a major issue in this house, and that's poltergeist activity. It's especially intense in the garage. Things with electronics stop working or they malfunction. Things start turning on. I know we have like a lot of tools and stuff in here, but I feel like it's actually kind of dangerous. Like things might go flying.
The hammer come flying across the garage. It's about 8 foot, and it come within about a foot from hitting.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, tell her about your car.
The stereo and the wipers would come on with out a key. I'd worked on cars since I was 16 years
Yeah.
old. And never had I had an issue with anything.
Paul, you gotta tell her about the glass.
Oh, yeah, we were in the dining room, and we heard a crash, and I had a dish drainer sitting on the sink, and I just had a glass in it, and that glass literally come out over top of the dish drainer and went into the sink and shattered.
What is really fueling your poltergeist activity the most right now is all of the fighting.
So you guys are causing it and you don't even realize it.
Evidently.
What else?
You have another major issue. There's a portal leading directly from the railroad tracks into the back door of your house.
Wow.
And I had a sketch done of what I saw.
Wow, look at this.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that really bothers me.
One of the dead that came through this portal is an older dead woman. She ended up staying in the house, and she's a very big problem. When people are sleeping, she makes them feel like they can't breathe, like they're suffocating. She's very focused on the living woman in the house. She hates you.
You had a woman that you saw in your bedroom. Tell Cindy about her.
Something woke me up. I sat up in the bed, and there was a woman standing right at the foot of the bed, and she had a hold of the curtain, and she was just jerking real hard on the curtain.
I saw her standing over your bed while you're sleeping, while you're really vulnerable. So I had a sketch done of what I saw.
I don't even know if I want to show you this.
Wow.
And it's very scary. Because when you're in bed, and sleeping, that should be,
Right.
pretty well your time. I mean, I don't know what to think.
I'm shaking.
I am too.
Paul, tell her about you waking up with the bruises.
I woke up several times with bruises on my chest, on my legs, on my arms. And there's been a few times that looks like someone just literally took their hand and just putting it around my arm, and you can actually see the fingerprints.
And you've had the same issue, right? When you go to your mom's house?
I was just over visiting. I started noticing a little bit of pain on my knee. When we came home, I had a bruise on my knee.
You've seen it. Tell her about the scratches that your wife gets.
She's woke up many of the morning, and she's had scratches across her chest.
I hate to say this, but she wants you dead. She also wants people to feel like they're burning alive, and she wants to burn your house down.